Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Item 3 is an invitation for a citizen to schedule time on the commission agenda for an item not listed. Anyone wanting to speak during this agenda item must sign in prior to the start of the meeting. Any requested action items must be scheduled for a future meeting date. And I don't see anybody that wants to make a comment for a future meeting date. So we'll move on to item 3, which is the approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We have an agenda. Item 5 is our regular business. Item A is an action to approve and authorize Chairperson Bartley to sign agreement number 20-44, a settlement agreement and release between the City of Brookings and Brookings County. We have some documents in front of us. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Motion been made and seconded. At this point, we'll take comments.
Mr. Chair, if I might.
You may, Commissioner Pierce.
First of all, I would like to extend a special welcome to Pryor County Commissioner Stephanie Miller, who's here today and who was instrumental with Commissioner Jensen in getting this project up and running. I think it was 4 years ago, but I might have my number of years wrong. And we appreciate her being here today and all the hard work that she put on this project. I have to say that I am thrilled that the city and the county have come together to reach a resolution and look forward to the completion of our new detention center. And I would like to draw everybody's attention to paragraph H in the settlement agreement, which says the parties hereafter intend to work in the spirit of cooperation and in the best interest of the public in entering into this agreement, and to further treat each entity in good faith and to both act to foster goodwill for both entities. And I'm hoping that this settlement agreement will be acted on in the spirit in which it was written. I was disappointed in the article that was in today's Brookings Register that reported the remarks by City Councilman Nick Wendell. And I'm not going to try to rebut any of that. I just want to say to the members of the public, if you are interested in knowing the true story behind the facts, read the court's decision in this case, because it sets everything out. And I really, really am looking forward to moving forward with our project and meeting the needs of the citizens of Brookings County regarding our detention center. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I guess I'd like to say I'm happy we're at this point in our jail project where we're signing contracts and moving forward. I hope we can move forward in timely fashion and complete this project so we can provide our jail staff, the inmates, and everybody associated with the jail a safer and more functional facility. I'd also like to thank fellow commissioners, our staff, to getting us to this point.
Any other comments or questions? I just have one, and that's a thank you to our commission assistant here, our chief executive, Stacy, for all the work she's put up with all of us and all the requests we've had for information and copies and submittals and moving things along. And it's been a process. It goes all the way back to Larry and Steph when they started this process, and a committee that put that jail together. Sheriff Marty was on that committee also, so I recommend congratulations to the sheriff too. It's been a long process. It's water under the bridge and everything that took place. We're happy that we've come to a solution and resolution, and I think Commissioner Pierce's reading of item H is important. It's important to us. I hope it's important to the city. I think it is, the 5-2 vote. Cooperative effort on things in the future. That's not to be worried about at this point in time. This is a great project, not only for the citizens of the county of Brookings, but also for the citizens of Brookings, who are also citizens of the county of Brookings. This is a major improvement needed in our detention facilities. We will work diligently to make sure that the project succeeds and lasts for a long time into the future. And I think a lot of effort was put in. I would like to thank Commissioner Boersma for her assistance in helping us get to our final design stages so that it fit, at least as far as the styling was concerned, on the property with the courthouse and the neighborhood. So I think we've come a long way from when our first block drawings were submitted to what we're going to start building soon. So with that, any other comments or questions? None. Would you call the roll?
Pierce.
Aye.
Boersma.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Bartley.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B is an action to approve agreement number 20-45, Exhibit A, an amendment to agreement number 2014, an American Institute of Architects agreement between Brookings County and Henry Carlson Construction LLC for the Brookings County Detention Center and Remodel project. And we have documents, Exhibit A, and the guaranteed maximum price documents. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion on the documents? Any comments? Hearing none, call the roll.
Boersma.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Pierce.
Aye.
Bartley.
Aye,
Motion carries.
thank you. Item C is an update and discussion on the issuance of the bonds for the Detention Center and Remodel and Expansion Project. We have Tom Grumman. Tom, you'd like to come up, Senior Vice President of Collier Securities, to give us an update on where we're going to go from here. Welcome.
Thank you. So hopefully, it sounds like it picks me up. So, yeah, an update on this is, it was great to get the phone call. The best part of this, for Stacy probably, is I won't be calling every month asking her where we're at in the process. So that's 3 years plus that I've been calling and just trying to figure it out and keep up to date and not get surprised. So anyway, so that's great. It's fantastic. Everyone's building jails, it seems like right now, or at least want to. So you're right in the time frame. The current situation in the market right now is that it's very good in the market. I think I printed off some nice little pretty graphs I was going to bring today, and they're still in the printer back in my office. But outside of that, interest rates are at about 65-year lows for doing municipal financing, tax-exempt financing in the market right now. So it's a good time to be in the market. You're already collecting your payments for these bonds. You've been collecting them. The levy went into place after the resolution was passed and the time frame passed for that. So you've been collecting the money. So really all we need to do is put the bond issue together. I have a draft of the document that we started back in 2017. It was about an 80% solution. And Commissioner Miller was in there. We're going to have to delete her name and put somebody new in there, but and maybe there's been some other changes too. I didn't really look very hard at. I think there's a couple new commissioners, but anyway, just to update that document, and then we send it off to the rating agency after we have that document updated. Send that off to the rating agency. That takes about 3 weeks, and then after that time period, we use another week or so to get the final document ready. What we call the preliminary official statement, the POS. And then that gets circulated out into the general public for sale of the bonds, sale of the certificates in this case. And then after we do that, we sell them. Selling them means fixing the interest rates at that time. And then we lock the interest rates in at that time. And then it's 2 to 3 weeks after that we close on the issue and the money, flows into your bank account. So in the whole process, you're probably looking, 45 to 60 days before you have, your money in the bank. And probably 45 days to where we actually lock where interest rates are at right now. Okay. And no further, as far as I know, I think this was determined, about 2.5 years ago or 2 years ago, that there was no further action to be done. We are limited. It was determined, I think the attorneys came to a conclusion, we were limited to just going out. The 20 years started in 2037 or 2017, so our 20 years that we set in the resolution limits us to 2037, and not going all the way to 2040, which would be 20 years, which is fine. So basically, the document is intact. The way I understand it is fine the way it is, and we'll just move ahead with an amortization schedule that fits that 2037 time period.
Okay. Any questions? Commissioner Pierce.
Yes.
On these types of bonds, is prepayment penalty required I mean, can we prepay that bond if we choose to do that? That's really what I'm asking.
Right, yeah, there'll be what they call a call date on these bonds, but typically there's a lockout period, which is, on a 20-year bond is 6 to 7 year time period.
Okay.
So after that 6 or 7 year time period, and really just kind of where the market is, if you cut it too much, too short, you pay a little bit higher interest rate. If you go too long as an issuer, you're giving up some of that call time, because the market's going to price, even if you give them 10 years or 15 years on the call, it's not going to price any different than if you get 7 years, if that makes sense. So we're looking right now, a lot of bonds, especially with the way the market has changed since 2017 after the tax code changes, about 6 or 7 years where you have a lockout period, and then after that, you can start calling bonds whenever you want. There's nothing that precludes the county from, if they have extra money or something like that, heaven forbid, and you want to pay down the bonds, you can always, put that into a separate fund, and you can designate that money. You can restrict that money for when the bonds are callable, and then use that, and then take that fund and then pay off bonds at that time too. If you, within that 6-year period where you have a lockout and it's not available to call, then you could do. That's another technique that some folks have used.
And do you have, I'm not holding you to this, a rough idea where we'll be at an interest rate?
Well, I looked at the numbers that we provided. I don't know if you saw those back in July, early July. There was a set of numbers. Stacy asked me to run some new numbers. And, I think the bond yield on those, I just looked at them, was about 170, 168 or something like that on 20 years. So 1.68% on 20 years, that's the bond yield. All-inclusive cost was under 2% at like 191 or something like that. So right now, we're still in that range. Actually, we're a little bit better on the overall yield curve than we were in early July. But I say that knowing that we went about 2 months there, 3 months, where rates didn't really move much, and when they did move, they moved down slightly. Now we've kind of, I want to say, I don't know if we've hit bottom, I'm not betting the house on it, but we have seen in the last week and a half to 2 weeks where rates are starting to bump up a little bit. So are they going to come back down? What's going to happen with the election? My feeling is too, and I don't know where the commission is at on this. I know you did move on the GMP, but my thought on this would be to move ahead as fast as we can. I would like to, I don't know if we can get it done because it is a little short time, but I'd like to at least try and get interest rates locked by the end of October, just because I've never had a presidential election ever affect interest rates like they did in 2016. Interest rates spiked up the day after 50 basis points, and I'd never seen that, and I've been doing this at that time 24 years. So I, that's kind of weird. Usually the rates move on, discussion by the Fed, what the Fed action is going to be or what the Fed policies are going forward. But, if we have the ability, I think we should just kind of plow ahead and try and get interest rates set. I mean, rates could go down, but I mean, at 65-year lows, I think there's more pressure for rates to go the other direction. Now, again, if the economy flounders a little bit, the pressure is going to be down for rates to stay where they're at, or even maybe go a little bit lower. But I'm definitely not betting the house on rates going lower. But I think there could be some impact to the election. So if we could possibly at least get it priced, meaning set the interest rates before then, maybe the last week of October, that would probably be a good goal.
And you have everything you need from us to make all that happen.
I have the authority to make that all happen. Let's put it that way. I mean, we'll be in contact with the county. We'll talk to Vicki and get some of that done. Some additional information that needs to be updated in the document, and we'll go from there.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Tom, for updating us. We appreciate it, and we will accommodate your time frame as fast as we can.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Item D is an action to approve agreement number 20-46, a proposal for reception desk modifications made by Architecture Incorporated. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. We do have that modification proposal. Is there any questions or comments? Any comments from anyone? Hearing none, we'll call the roll.
Krogman? Aye. Jensen?
Aye.
Pierce?
Aye.
Boersma? Aye. Bartley?
Aye.
Motion carries.
We are now at item 6, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned. Thank you.